Hey, I got a $25 donation from a personal friend of mine, so I was able to get this for like, I think it was like $32, $33 or something like that. I have been enjoying Diablo 3 quite a bit. I know people hate this game with a passion. You know, a lot of the hardcore Diablo 2 players don't like it. It launched in a honestly pretty bad state. And now there's the whole thing with that phone game being announced at BlizzCon of all places, so the morale in the community is down right now, from what I understand. Obviously, I'm not really involved in that stuff, but the one you know, kind of shining thing in the community right now is that the Switch port is really good. I would consider this to be the standard for like Switch ports right now, and I'm talking about like ports for 3D games or games that have like, you know, full parity with the console versions. This is probably one of the best ones. Now, I don't count stuff like, you know, I have Sonic Mania here from GameFly, with the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle, or The Messenger, things like that. I'm talking like more like high-fidelity games that are available on PS4. This is definitely one of the best ports out there. So the controls are actually pretty nice. So you have your 6 buttons. You also have this dodge, which looks pretty cool. I haven't actually been able to determine if it has iframes or not. It seems like it does, but maybe only at the beginning of the animation. I honestly think that they should make it more useful, like give it a little bit more distance, maybe give it like full iframes or something. It is nice. It's mostly there so that you can reposition yourself. Like, say you're over here attacking and something else is over this direction. Like, you can, it's kind of hard to do it in town because of all the NPCs, but like from here to here.
Greetings, Nephilim.
Now, the frame rate is probably the most important thing. I can say that if you're soloing and you're not doing like high-level riffs, it will pretty much always be 60 frames per second. It's basically a target. I have not played the PS4 version of this. I was on the fence about getting it, but then I got that donation, which made this version $8 more expensive. And I know I've heard that version does tank sometimes, so it's not like it's exclusive to this version. I think some people are being a little bit too harsh on it. You know, it does tank quite a bit in the higher riffs and stuff like that, but the PS4 version does too. So I think this is pretty impressive. So I'm gonna go ahead and I don't have any whatchamacallits right now. I don't have any keys for the rift, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a Nephilim rift right now. Now for the builds, I pretty much just copied what was on a bunch of the sites. This is one of the meta builds that people are using at the moment. And some guy said it was F tier, and then I go on this other site and I say it's high tier. But I don't really care, you know. I always play a martial artist and everything, so I mean it doesn't really change my opinion that much. And the tier list mostly seems to be like how far you can get into certain like the solo riffs, and past a certain point I guess it just doesn't even really matter. It's mostly just for show, so we'll see what happens there. Alright.
Prove yourself worthy of your birthright.
So it'll probably get a little crazy in here because the rifts have like the highest mob density. But it doesn't tend to matter that
I will not do that.
This build I have is pretty squishy, so I get one shot sometimes. I'm still working on the survivability. Definitely a glass cannon at the moment, that's for sure. Like, it's holding up pretty well. Pretty big chaos right now. It's mostly like when you're in parties and you're in a higher level bit that the frame rate does tank.
I don't have enough spirit.
Now, if you're curious, you can actually go on Digital Foundry. They actually put up a video a couple days ago that's far more detailed than anything I have the equipment or experience to do. But I just thought I'd show my personal experience with it. Like, if you just play through the campaign, you know, this is basically like an offline MMO with online capabilities, then you're probably not going to see too many frame rate drops, but if you do start trying to approach the end game, then it will tank sometimes. That was one of the things people were the most concerned about when it launched, because obviously there's way more enemies in these rifts than there are in the regular campaigns and areas.
I need spirit. Beneath the endless tide.
I know one of the things people hate about this game is the fact that, you know, you can't, like, customize your build in the same way you could before, where you had, like, you know, skill points and stuff like that. I actually like that it doesn't have that. You can actually change your build really quickly in this game. I did used to play Diablo 2 with my mom a lot when I was in high school. I didn't like having to be tied to a build guide just to make sure I don't waste like dozens of hours of gameplay. Obviously, Blizzard as a company is in like turmoil right now because of the disaster with that Diablo phone game. I'm curious how they'll handle the next one. Obviously, this game launched in a really shitty state. It took them a while to fix it, but I'm really enjoying it now. I'm glad I waited for the Switch version. I actually went out to do some errands, like grocery shopping and stuff, a couple days ago, and I did a couple of these rifts on the bus at 60 FPS, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. You have like so many other really bad ports on this console. This is one of the best ones. It is definitely not 60 FPS locked all the time, but for the most part, it is.
I need to go back.
It was my pleasure to spend time with you.
Okay, so I guess I'll go ahead and stop there. I don't know what this guy wants to do. The net play actually does seem pretty good. The matchmaking is not the best, but you can actually get in a party pretty quickly. I actually did part of my bounties while I was in the bathroom today, so I can definitely vouch for the portable experience. It's definitely really good on this game. I recommend it if you haven't played the game before. If you have, I guess it's more of a fact if you just like more of a matter if you're not already burnt out on the game or something like that. Anyway, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.